welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today's video going to be a wee preview of Celtic against Hearts game tomorrow afternoon. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff. Game will be at Celtic Park. The game is live on Celtic TV, but only for those living outside UK and Ireland. Otherwise, it's a question of watching the game delayed late at night on Saturday or watching the highlights on the BBC Sports Scene programme. In today's video, we're going to have a wee look at Brendan Rodgers' press conference on Friday afternoon. We look at my predicted lineup, the predicted score, and one or two wee stats of the Celtic against Hearts game and the form that Celtic and Hearts are in going into tomorrow afternoon's game. Celtic will be looking to get themselves back on a winning run, trying to get those last few wins to try and secure the title prior to the top-bottom 6-6 split. To do that, Celtic will require wins over Hearts, St Johnstone and Kilmarnock. The games against St Johnstone and Kilmarnock are going to be live on Sky Sports, and also it will require Rangers dropping a point or two here and there over their three games up to the 6-6 split. In Friday afternoon's press conference, it concentrated on the Kasper Schmeichel shoulder injury and a preview of the Celtic Hearts game. And to be thoroughly fair, it was a rather boring press conference by Brendan Rodgers. He didn't really say anything particularly interesting. He was asked about Kasper Schmeichel's shoulder injury. He was rather non-committal and vague. He does confirm that Kasper Schmeichel will be out for tomorrow's game. He said they're still waiting for the scan results, but I think instead it's actually they're waiting for the specialist opinion as to whether Schmeichel's going to require shoulder surgery, in which case we're talking 4 to 6 months out, or if it's going to respond to physiotherapy, rehabilitation, ultrasound, ice, painkillers, etc., in which case we're probably looking at a few weeks out. Rodgers did confirm that Viljami Sinisalo is in line to come in to replace Kasper Schmeichel in tomorrow's game against Hearts. The other player he said who will be unavailable for tomorrow's game against Hearts is Liam Scales, who's still recovering from injury. But otherwise, all of Celtic's players took a full part in training on Friday morning. So Paolo Bernardo, James Forrest, Callum McGregor and Austin Trusty are all fit and available for tomorrow afternoon's squad. And I fully expect that all of those players will be on the bench tomorrow afternoon. Although Yang may take the place of James Forrest instead. On the basis of Brendan Rodgers' press conference and those details, my predicted lineup's going to be Viljami Sinisalo in goals, back four of Alistair Johnston, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Austin Trusty and Jeffrey Sloop. I think there is a temptation to reward Mike Nawrocki's good performance against Rangers by playing him in place of Austin Trusty, and as Jeffrey Sloop didn't have a particularly good game against Rangers, he may go with Greg Taylor instead, but I suspect that Rodgers is going to go with his first choice left-sided defence, and so Trusty and Taylor will get the start. Callum McGregor appears to have been able to get through training over the last few days, including the Friday morning session, and so I'm sure he's going to be in the more deeper midfield role and back as captain, with Rio Hatate and Arne Engels in front of him. The other question Brendan Rodgers has to solve in terms of selection is who his front three is going to be. My prediction is Nicholas Kuhn on the right, Dyson Maeda on the left, and Adam Idah through the middle. Although I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to see Maeda through the middle and Idah on the bench, and Jota out wide on the left. I think both having Idah as the central striker or Maeda as the central striker, I think they'll both work. my inclination would be starting with Maeda, who did score midweek for the Ireland team against Bulgaria. Maeda on the left, and then bringing on Jota, Yang, or Forrest late on to replace the two wide players, with Maeda going out to the left, coming into the centre, and Jota, Yang, Forrest going out to the left, and one of those other two going to replace Kuhn on the right. Celtic's bench should be fairly strong. Mike Novrocky will be the central defensive option, one of Ralston or Taylor on the bench. I think there'll be 2 out of 3 between Forrest, Yang, and Jota. Also, they may well have Johnny Kenny on the bench as an extra striker option, and obviously Paolo Bernardo and Luke McCowan as the two midfield replacement options. So I think Celtic getting back towards their strongest 11 and strongest possible bench with tomorrow's matchday squad. In terms of match score prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Celtic. I think Celtic's going to be nice and strong in defence. Carter Vickers and Trusty have become a very good partnership. Alistair Johnston had a slightly dodgy game for Canada in his first game, but then came back with a very good performance in Canada's win over America in the fourth playoff. And I think Viljami Sinosalo, although he's relatively young at 23, he actually has had a lot of first team experience on loan and also has had high level exposure in under 19, under 21 football for Aston Villa as well. And so I don't really have any doubts that Sinosalo's going to do a good job deputising for Kasper Schmeichel, be it for a few games or up until summer or even early autumn. Looking at the stats for Celtic against Hearts, in the last 15 games between Celtic and Hearts, Celtic have 13 wins and 2 defeats, both those defeats being back in the 23-24 season. And Celtic have a brilliant home record against Hearts. In the last 27 home games between Celtic and Hearts, Celtic have 25 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat, so a very lucky ground for Celtic against Hearts. Having said that, of course, we have to remember that Celtic have lost 2 out of their last 4 league matches, with the defeats to Rangers in the last match and Hibs a couple of games before. And up until that time, Celtic had been on a brilliant run of league matches with only 2 defeats in the previous 46. And I think Celtic's good run of wins over Hearts and good run of league wins is going to restart tomorrow, as I said, by a score of 2-0. Hearts have, however, been in good form so far in their 2025 league matches. In the 10 league games so far this year in 2025, Hearts have 7 wins, 2 defeats, and 1 draw, with those 2 defeats being against Hibs and Rangers. And so Hearts clearly have got themselves back into good form and have pushed themselves back up near the top of the league and will be in a fight for third place, I'm pretty sure, with Aberdeen and Hibs as we go into the last part of the season. Other stat is that Daizen Maeda has now scored in 7 consecutive league games for Celtic, and the last Celtic player to go 7 league games in a row with a goal was Anthony Stokes back in 2014. Celtic have beaten Hearts already at Celtic Park this season. That was 2-0 back in September, and in November we won 4-1 away at Hearts with 2 late goals by the late substitute Adam Maeda, including a added time penalty kick to put the score comfortably to 4-1. And I'm looking for a 2-0 win at least tomorrow. Hopefully get a nice early goal, calm the nerves, and then take control of the game and add a goal or 2 more to make things comfortable. Looking through all the various Celtic sites, football sites and news sites, no other major Celtic news at the time of recording late on Friday afternoon, so we'll finish things there. just a polite suggestion, encouragement. If you are new to the channel, not yet subscribed, please do click that subscribe button. Subscriber numbers gradually going past 1,200, and one or two new subscribers every day does make me so happy. If you have liked the video or like the channel, please do click that like button. It does help with spreading the channel to a wider audience, and do feel free to pop your own thoughts regarding the lineup, the players, and a predicted score into the comment section for a nice wee discussion and debate on the channel. And do remember, if you haven't voted already, there are a couple of online polls on the channel, one regarding giving Brendan Rodgers a new 3-year contract this summer rather than letting his contract run down into next season, and also the possibility of bringing Kyogo back from Rennes, where he has been quite unsettled and has fallen out of favour. And so do feel free to pop in your own votes in those two polls on the community section of the channel. We'll be doing a post-match review video of the Celtic Hearts match, most likely on Sunday morning. And so until the next video, goodbye and hail, hail.